David, thank you very much for joining us. Starting off, first of all, with the news last week from the government that fans will no longer be permitted into the stadium. How much of a bitter blow was that for not just yourself, but for everyone at the football club?
I think it was probably hard to keep my face in a smile when I answered that question, but I think all of us at the club, it was just the biggest hammer blow we've ever had. There's been this amazing effort since we voted as a league to resume playing in September. So you had the players coming back in August, pre-season training. You had lots of staff coming back into the club that we'd unfurloughed. And there was this wonderful effort building up to a crescendo of everybody working really, really hard, getting all the plans in place. You know, I think everybody who works at the club has seen the amount of effort, the amount of red tape we've gone through, the amount of bureaucracy, and everything we've done to get people to buy season cards, and then, you know, to put all the plans in place we've put in the stadium, 200 hand sanitisers, footprints, screens for staff, screens at the bar, everything we're doing to try and make people safe. And even now, as I look around the stadium on a beautiful sunny Lancashire late September afternoon, you think, how can it not be possible for 2,000 people to not be allowed to socially distance in a ground that holds 10,000? So it's been a body blow to me personally, but even more to the club. It's just been a wow. I don't think anything has impacted as heavily as that announcement by the government last week, because you all know, and the staff all know here, how many hoops we've gone through to even get to the position of being ready this weekend to hopefully open the in front of crowds against Fleetwood.
What sort of impact will that now have on the football club, the fact that we can no longer have fans come into our stadium for what at the moment is the foreseeable future?
Well, I think bluntly, answering that question honestly to the fans of Rochdale, we're now at a situation where the destiny of the football club is to a large extent out of our own hands. The impact that the COVID regulations would have been tough anyhow, because restricting us to 2,000 people in the ground and smaller numbers in hospitality and our executive boxes would have had an impact of somewhere between 1.8 and 2 million on what we would normally take. But having no fans in at all just impacts everything. Impacts our ability to gain sponsorship. We're going to have to think very carefully of how we look at that going forward. But the destiny of the football club now relies on the government coming up with a scheme, the English Football League coming up with a scheme, or we find a very, very magic way to get out of the situation that's going to face us. It's facing every football club. There are 72 clubs in the Football League that are facing this very same situation, where we're not getting the billions in from a TV sponsor. We're relying on our own sponsorship and our own income from fans, and we will need support to get through this if we are to continue as a club to play matches behind closed doors and pay everybody who's associated with the club in full.
How hopeful are you of a package from either the government or the Football League or the Premier League, as has been mooted before? How hopeful are you of receiving some income?
I'm very hopeful in terms of whether it's a package that's a loan. The football club, we have the directors here have great confidence in the people who are running the Football League. David Bottomley and Rick Parry at a very senior level. We know that when they say they're working every waking moment of the day to try and get a package in place, they are doing. I think perhaps the Premier League doesn't work at the same pace that we do in terms of they don't seem to have the same regular meetings, but I'm sure that a package is not far away, because everybody from MPs in Parliament to the Football League know that the football clubs are a vital asset to the community. And everybody knows that football clubs, particularly at League 1 and 2 levels, cannot sustain this current situation, even if they're foreign-owned or they're multi-millionaire funded, which Rochdale has never been, that even those clubs can't sustain it. So, that's where we are.
Within a couple of hours of the announcement last week, our local MP, Tony Lloyd, was on the phone to you to offer his assistance in any way. You seem to be in regular contact with him. Has he been a great help?
Well, Tony Lloyd's a supporter, first and foremost. He's a season card holder and has been a season ticket holder in the last few years at Rochdale and has been a good friend to us. He very much is aware of what we do for the community of Rochdale, not just as a football club when people turn the results on at 5 o'clock on a Friday or Saturday afternoon rather. He's aware of everything we bring to the wider community, And like 71 other colleagues of his in Parliament who've got football clubs in their constituency, he wants to see the football club not only survive but to thrive and get through this current situation. So yeah, he's a great friend to the club, and hopefully he's going to be a great asset to us in Parliament, knocking on Boris's door to say, look, you need to put a plan in place to help these clubs.
He's also going to help the club try and, particularly yourself, Francis, our commercial director, are very hopeful of trying to get perhaps our executive boxes being able to be used them on a match day as well as the hospitality. Can you tell us a bit about the work you guys have been doing on that?
Well, it's a good question, because we actually don't see the difference between our hospitality suites and our executive boxes and any restaurant or pub. So if we've got safe facilities here behind glass, which we have, and the ability to deliver food and drink on a table service, why should we not allow to be able to have people at behind closed doors games if they are behind closed doors themselves, watching the game from boxes and glass? And the reason we're wanting to do this is that any income is better than no income at all. And everyone who's associated with the football club here knows that a lot of our income does come from box holders and from our match day hospitality.
Can you tell supporters what else has been going on behind the scenes? Obviously, you said since the players have come back and staff have been on furlough, it has very much been work at a rate of knots. Can you inform supporters about what's been taking place behind the scenes?
Well, that would probably take the next 2 hours, because the staff here have been absolutely magnificent. We have the most amazing group of staff here, everyone from stadium maintenance to pitch maintenance, well documented through the efforts of yourself and Greg, what has happened with the pitch this year, what's happened down at the training ground. And, very importantly, we had for the first time decided to invest in a modern ticketing system to bring Rochdale Football Club truly into the modern football world. So we should have had from this Saturday people entering the stadium by putting a ticket into a barcode reader and getting into the ground that way, in common with lots of other football clubs that have actually done that. And we've had all the effort involved in not only making the offices and the ground COVID safe for our staff, which was our first priority, but to make it COVID safe for 2,170 people, which was the limit that was put on us in terms of having crowds back. So we've got red zones, amber zones, we've got footprints everywhere. So there's all of that work that people have done, gone above and beyond. Saying to somebody earlier today that the match we're playing behind closed doors, yesterday there were 27 emails that went between Rochdale and Manchester United, our opponents, with regard to certain priorities on COVID and all the things that go behind the protocol of putting matches on. So the staff have been, and we don't have the greatest number of staff at this club, but what I've detected through all of this is we've got an absolutely fantastic team of staff who have the mantra that we've been around for 113 years, we've been solvent for 113 years, and every single member of staff wants to make that 114 years.
There were 1,468 supporters who took a leap of faith, if you like, and purchased a season card for this season. What's your message to those supporters? Because I'm sure there'll be many sat at home wondering what's going to happen next.
Our message is very simple from the board of directors and from all the staff at the club. Thank you. You're at 1,478 magnificent people who did take that leap of faith and did buy a season card, in the knowledge that probably at that time one game was going to be behind closed doors and the rest would be behind the public. We want to be honest with our fans, and so we are going to be offering two options to our season card holders. One is a full refund, with the exception of the game where people were issued with iFollow passes, with a second option being that we would ask the people of Rochdale to accept 22 iFollow passes in exchange for the money they paid for season cards. But we will, as I've said just a few seconds ago, we will refund in full if that's what people want. And we're doing those two schemes, particularly the full refund, because last time we did actually take some criticism from the people of Rochdale for the various schemes that we came up with. Again, a big thank you to the people who are now on our wall of thanks in the club, which looks magnificent. So we're offering this scheme, and we're offering it because iFollow is very, very important to the football club. I wish personally the Football League would go and TV advertise iFollow. I actually watched a game myself the other Tuesday evening by iFollow, and the quality of coverage, the quality of commentary, is almost as good as being at the game. So, and it's very important because every time we play, we get £10 less the government's VAT, and it is a very vital source of income for us as a football club. And we would ask people to purchase iFollow or to accept the second option on season tickets, which is accepting iFollow passes in exchange for money. Just on iFollow, I'd like to just put to bed a little myth I think that probably exists because of the difference between EFL League One and EFL League Two. In EFL League One, we actually voted to have a scheme in place where the home club would negotiate with the away club, like we did with Portsmouth the other Sunday, the amount of fans that they would normally have brought to a game like that. So where you've got some history, and obviously with Portsmouth we have history, we can use an average of how many fans they've got, and then we try and negotiate and get that figure higher, because then all the money comes to us. Because what happens at the moment is that if we agree a figure with a club and it goes above that, they get the benefit of that revenue. But that works both ways. If a club agrees a lower figure with us, and that's already happened to us this season, we get the benefit of the extra fans. So iFollow is fundamentally, right now, one of the best things that our fans can get behind and support the club. And it is the next best thing to being at the game. It's the only way you can get to see your club play, whether you're following Ipswich Town, Rochdale, Rotherham, Reading, Portsmouth, it doesn't matter. Get behind, please, and buy iFollow passes. If all of those supporters that have either been in the staff meeting we had yesterday morning or been around the board of directors, they would know that the entire effort of everybody at this football club is geared to ensuring that we get to 114 years, still with the mantra that we're solvent as a football club, and on the 27th of August 2021 to celebrate 100 years unbroken membership of the Football League. There's a group of very talented people behind the scenes at this club who work for the club in terms of the staff that I'm very fortunate enough to represent as Chief Executive. We have great staff who will ensure that we do the right things at the right time, and we will put enough pressure on government and other people to ensure that this football club will be around in 2021.
Now we've come to terms with last week's announcement, what are your thoughts on moving forward? What do we do next?
I think I just would like to say one thing, and I'm in a very fortunate position, I recognise that I can still attend football matches, and I've been to every away game we've played already. And the one thing that I would say, hand on heart, is we've done more work at Rochdale Football Club than any club I've been to ensure that our stadium was completely COVID safe. We've had consultants in, we've taken every precaution possible, and I'm really proud of the club, and I'm actually really proud of our supporters, because for the number of people to have done what they did in buying season cards during these current times is absolutely fantastic. And I'd just like to thank all our supporters for staying loyal to the club, staying behind the club. We recognise we're in terribly difficult times for all people. You know, across the world there are 1 million people who have died from this terrible pandemic. So I just want to recognise that, you know, the next few weeks we take ourselves forward as a club. Real hard work starts now, because we've got to actually find a way to get finances in place and to bring money in. And also, we want as a club to be of great benefit to the community of Rochdale. We're not ever going to issue a rallying cry that says, you know, save our club, give us your money. We actually want to be part of something special in the community that recognises, from a football club's point of view, how important we are to the community, but also to the community of Rochdale, that they recognise the value of a football league club in their town.
We've actually got some initiatives in the pipeline. We've been in touch with the council regarding that just this week. If there are any supporters who are involved in charities or anything like that locally, would you encourage them to get in touch with the club? Yeah, please. I mean, our email addresses are all published on the website. We do respond to all emails. Please contact us if you've got any ideas. You know, our players are going to be more available than ever before to go and do charity work and to help, because, you know, we're very fortunate as football club in Brian Barry Murphy. We not only have an amazingly talented football coach and manager, we have somebody who recognises the true value of the football club to the town, and Brian actively wants our players and the coaching staff to get more involved and helping within the community.